Hey, welcome back to Startup Screen Printing. My name is Jesse. Today I want to show you guys just a little trick that I do to help kind of save some space on screens. I like to, in essence, gang sheet the screens with multiple jobs. So if I have, in this case, I've got a screen here that's about to set up for an order that has two separate designs on it here. It actually looks like the same design, and it is. It's just flipped upside down. And I'll show you guys in another video why I've got this flipped upside down like that. I'm going to be doing some sleeve prints, but two different styles of sleeves. So I'll show you that at a later time. But I like to do multiple on a screen because, you know, I've got this little small sleeve print here that it's not taking up much of the screen. I've got all the rest of this real estate over here. And if I have a design that needs the same mesh count or can utilize the same mesh count, and is perhaps getting the same ink color, thus being good for the same mesh count, then I want to be able to do those together and only use one screen. So that saves me cost. I've still charged in my pricing for a screen setup, but I've been able to combine those two orders to be able to do, you know, two in one screen, in essence, save myself that additional cost, which then comes in as profit. So highly recommend you do this or something like this if you're not already. Now, I've seen a couple of guys, shops, not guys, a couple of shops do this different ways. You can either tape over this design, and depending on what tape you're using, you may run the risk of, you know, when you pull the tape off, it takes some of the emulsion with it or messes up the stencil somehow, leaves some adhesion there or something. So I just avoid that. I have a different method that I use, and so I want to show you guys that today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up to my platen here. And I actually had already done this, but so I just need to tighten it back up. So it's lined up now. I'm going to grab some tape. I like to use two different types of tape. I've got this green tape from Ryonet that I just love. It's pretty thick. And so I don't like to use it on the bottom of the screen when I'm taping off the registration marks, because the thickness of this will actually adjust your design. So first time I realized that, I had a just terrible time trying to line up a print, and then suddenly realized it was because this tape was thicker and it was causing some shifting in my print. It was keeping the screen up off the shirt a little bit, and that area of the print was not going well. So I used this tape on the bottom of the screen. And so both of these I got from Ryonet, and these little tadpole tape cutters from Ryonet. I haven't seen these in stock in years, but they're just fantastic. I love them. So first thing I'm gonna do is actually just tape over the back, or I'm sorry, around all the edges of the screen. Like that. All right. Then I like to go back and do a second layer just up above, rise up above the screen. Keeps ink off the screen as much as possible. Come on. All right. So the next thing I like to do, I need to have some separation between these two prints, right? And when I'm printing, it's nice to have somewhere to set my squeegee. And the more real estate I have, the more, you know, ink drying area, and it just makes it a little more difficult for me. It's the way it's worked out for me. So my solution is a shipping box. So it's actually cut in half. So there's just two pieces of a box. This is a USPS large flat rate box. This has been the perfect size, and I just notch out the sides a little bit to fit inside of my screen. But this has been the perfect size for me. And in fact, I had ordered these years ago. You can get these on USPS.com. for free. They'll ship them to you in bundles. So I mistakenly, for another business I had, ordered 10 bundles thinking I was ordering 10 boxes. So I had a bunch of these lying around, and they actually came in handy for this business. So what I like to do, like I said, I notch out, and so I try to pull up pretty close to the print here. So I've got, you know, a good area to set my squeegee, and you know, it's enough space. And then if I look on the other side, I see it's plenty of space in this other one. Sometimes I'll just split the difference and go right in the middle. So what I like to do here is take this green tape, because it's a little stronger. Oh. This tape is a little stronger, so I'm going to use it on the bottom. So I'll pull this up. Get that down there, put another layer just for good measure. All right. And then sometimes I'll also do it on the back. Just go ahead and get ahead of that. Obviously I can do this when it's time to print this back side. Excuse me. Okay. So now I've got that in there. Sometimes I'll take this tape a little higher too, because ink tends to build up a little bit more, you know. So now we've got the tape there. If I pop this up now, still goes underneath my laser guiding arm here. And now I've got just like essentially a smaller screen. So if I take a squeegee now, this one I'll be using a smaller squeegee. Now I've got my print area, and I've got it right there. I don't have a whole bunch of ink that I have to worry about, you know, keeping in line and pulling back in. It's just simply right here. And so it minimizes the amount of area that I'm affecting with the ink and that I'm worrying about and that I'm having to clean up. And then when I'm ready, I just pop this screen off, flip this around, and now I've got the other side ready to go as well. And because of the tape and everything, none of the ink over here or the cleaning, when I'm cleaning this out with the Aqua Wash, none of that is reaching this side of the screen. And I'm not having to tear anything away. I'm not having to peel any tape off. This is as if I'm working with a brand new screen here whenever it comes time to print this other job. So again, this has worked super well for me. I can use these boxes over and over again as long as I don't get, you know, ruin them with too much ink. I use them many times before I will toss them and get a new box. But, you know, it's free. And so it kind of handles two purposes for me. It blocks everything from being this other side. And a lot of times you'll see people take a clamp and this side to hold their squeegee so that it's not so far back. And this just does that for me. So I get to, you know, the benefit of everything. It holds it up perfectly there. It's out of my way. And I can do this with any number of screens. So I like to do this as much as I can and try and do multiple. Even if I just have a job with one color and it's a small artwork or something, it's something where I can fit something on the other side, I'll burn one of my own screens, you know, one of my brand designs. I'll put it over there and then maybe print some samples or some giveaway items or some apparel for ourselves. So I try to always utilize that somehow. But if I've got multiple orders in at a time, which is obviously most of the time, then I'll try to do multiple orders on a single screen like this as much as I can to try and save cost and to make life easier. So I can show you here. I've got another screen. I've done this again here. So this is that screen we burned the other day, and then we've got this Be Kind on the other side of it. I actually did two of them. So this was the second one, and I did this other order in there with it. So that's my tip. Let me know if you guys do something similar. You may have a better idea than this. And if you do, I would love to know it. This has worked well for me, but if you have a better idea and something that's worked even better for you, maybe is easier or more simplified, absolutely let me know. I'm just here to share what's worked for me, but I would love to know what's worked for you as well. or if you're trying this and this makes a difference for you, let me know that too. I'd love to hear it. Any other questions? Any other interests or issues you guys have had printing water base or starting your business at home? I would love to hear them. That's going to drive these videos. I want it to be about real questions that you guys have and that you're facing in your business, and uncertainties that you have that I could perhaps clear up for you in the experience that I've had over the last almost 15 years now. So let me know how I can help. I'm here to help you guys, and that's what I enjoy. So I want to bring you more of these videos to directly help with things that you're dealing with right now. All right, that's it. Like I said, I'll be starting a podcast very soon. I'll be posting video and audio of that, so you'll be on your podcast player, whatever you use, but also here on YouTube as well. So be sure to bring those there. And in the podcast, I'll be talking about more things that aren't as visual and equipment setup type things. These are business ideas and business processes and business thoughts and pricing and strategies and things like that. Conversations about how to deal with different customer types and how to do pricing, how to quote, how to compete, how to get your name out there, things like that. So any of those types of things that you may have questions on, I'd love to hear them. I'll make sure I cover those in the podcast as well. That's it for today's video. See you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend.